right, guys, welcome back. This is another episode of the Jordan Patrick Show. I'm your host, Jordan, here with Richie and Elliot. Gentlemen, good to see you again. How are we doing today?
October's upon us, buddy. Got a big series coming up.
It came quick, man. The Rays facing the Yankees tonight. Well, this could be huge.
I feel like we did this.
Yeah. The Rays actually face the Yankees tonight, 7:05. McClanahan against Cortez. This is a big series for you guys, not so much for the Rays. Why is that, Rich? What's going on here?
You guys got to concentrate on health and getting your rotation right. But based on not too distant history, I think the Rays got to come out with the intention of sweeping the Yankees. And even if you don't knock us out of playoff contention, sending a message, because morale and the psychology this juncture of the year is just as important as all the analytical moves, in my opinion. And plus, I mean, we played an epic 5-game series last season, and I have no reason to believe that that's probably not going to happen again.
It could happen again.
Nerve-wracking, and I'm going to put it to you like this, and I'm getting ahead of myself a little. Whoever wins the potential Rays-Yankees matchup, assuming we advance out of that 1-game playoff, between the Rays and Yankees, whoever wins that 5-game series is going to the World Series. I'm going to say that right now because, in my opinion,
I agree.
Are the best teams in the American League.
I agree. There's not really anybody I'm too worried about. The only reason I'm worried about the Yanks is because of our history, quite frankly.
Familiarity, and it's become quite the rivalry.
Yeah, the matchup is proven to be a difficult one for us as well as you guys. You seem to have our number and we have yours. So, speaking of the Rays, this has been a topic of conversation for years, as you guys know. Rays are potentially moving outside of Tampa or outside of St. Pete currently. The argument or discussion has been, let's try to build something in Tampa. Let's get everybody over that causeway, or, not make them have to go over that causeway. Keep them in Tampa. Draw more of a fan base. And this has been kind of worrisome because then they've been thinking and considering of, where else can we go? Can we possibly relocate this team to a bigger market or somewhere that's more interested and where it financially makes sense instead of just moving them to Tampa from St. Pete? It's something that's potentially really going to come to fruition in 2028. They're going to go to Montreal more than likely. Have you guys seen this? This is kind of scary because I think it might happen. And what's up for discussion here is that they're talking about splitting the home games, splitting the seasons between Montreal, or splitting the season between Montreal and St. Pete, if they're still in St. Pete. But what they're also talking about is building a stadium in Tampa as well. So go ahead, Rich.
Give me 1 second, bud. I heard you said 2028. Now, splitting time, is that like the end game, or is that just the beginning?
So that's just the beginning. I think what's going to happen is for the first season, they're going to test it out. And what they're going to do is they're going to see how the fans react and how much of each fan base they either gain or lose on the Tampa side of things. There's a lot of factors. I'm just guessing right now. I don't really know. But I do know that they're going to do it. It's just a test run for the first year. And at first they were discussing, I don't know what's finalized right now, but they were at first discussing just doing the postseason and splitting it between Montreal and Tampa. Now they're talking about splitting the home games between Montreal and Tampa. So which one's really a home game? I don't understand how this is going to work.
41 and 41, essentially. I remember in the old days, the Green Bay Packers did that, but it wasn't the same thing. Milwaukee and Green Bay. They were trying to address a bigger market.
Right. And no team has ever done this in MLB history. So it's not even been discussed really. And what my biggest issue here is this. Where do you, let's say it comes down to this, 2028, they do this split between each of these markets. And they make a run, they get to the postseason. Where do you play your home game? Let's say they get to the World Series. Where's your home game?
What are your home games?
Are you going to split your home games in the World Series? Even better, something I was considering, where do you hang those? Let's say you win. Where does the World Series trophy go? Does it stay in Montreal? Does it stay in Tampa?
Moves around like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
We'll
fuck
just
that.
fucking throw it in the water like Brady did.
Yeah. Well, and then where do you go? Like, where do you hang your, I don't get it, man. Your banners, where do they hang? Are you going to put banners in both stadiums?
Happened if anything, best case scenario, MLB realizes that Montreal is thirsty to get a team back, and maybe this is just an eye-opening. So Tampa gets their new stadium, centralizes them over where the Bucks and Lightning have been doing great with attendance.
They do great.
And now move the A's to Vegas and have a new expansion team, Montreal Expos 2.0. Actually, it'll kind of be, believe it or not, it'll be similar to the Ravens and Browns because the Ravens kept their history. Now, the Nationals, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that they basically kept the Montreal history with the Nationals. So this might not be an Expos team if they were to go that route.
I think they did. Yeah, and I don't know that it would either, but I was just thinking on a little sidebar here. How cool would it be if, like, Vlad Guerrero signed a contract with the Vlad Guerrero Jr. Signed a contract with the Expos? Just to kind of pay.
Bad. You might not want to defect on them, even if they do go to Canada permanently. I gotta think, dude. I gotta think that they're gonna fight for this team to figure it out here in Florida.
So. Nobody wants to spend the money, and Silverman's saying, "Nah, we're gonna ship them, man. We're gonna try this out." Here's what pisses me off. There's two things, and I'm sure you guys can, back me up on this. If they leave and go to Montreal, that's no longer my team. And even if they split seasons, I'm not backing that shit up. I'm not gonna be a fan. I'm gonna do some drastic things. And I'm just gonna change my fanhood is gonna go elsewhere. But also, what pisses me off is that Silverman decides to do this banner. He's putting up this banner in right field when the postseason starts. We've already got the best record in the American League. Yeah, it's fucking terrible timing, and we've already clinched. We're already going to the postseason. Now he announces 2 days ago, hey, we're gonna put up this banner. There's a banner out there right now. It says like feeding Tampa Bay or feeding St. Petersburg, something like that, where they're helping out needy families, which is great. Now you're going to replace that banner with the Montreal, Tampa Bay Rays. What are they even going to be called? That's another question. What is your merchandise going to be?
You're putting the kibosh on the postseason. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Like we haven't even started the postseason yet. You're already fucking us up, man.
I don't know if you guys probably didn't hear about this. Maybe you did. We talked about it a little bit. In the soccer world, there was this attempted, almost like a coup, where they were trying to branch off and have this giant separate league. You remember this?
Okay. All about money.
It was all about money, and it was blatant, and the timing was just fucking horrible because this was a situation where fans were just coming back, and they were trying to tell you how everything's about the fans and all this and local blah, blah, blah. And then they do this. And it reminds me of that, where it's just rich owners doing whatever the fuck they want. Who cares about the fan base? This is a business. And we all accept that. But then when you want the fans to show loyalty, it's like, who the fuck are we kidding here?
I hope who are we kidding? As a native Floridian now, having that stadium so accessible, Jordan and I usually aim for about 3 games a year. Inside, it might be a bit of an eyesore, but it's so comfortable, especially with the summers we get here. You never have to worry about a rain out. You have the ability to kind of sit where you want, pay for your ticket and move around. Everybody's friendly. As a New Yorker, they embrace our franchise there. And it's a great rivalry. It would hurt me to see the Rays leave.
It would really suck, man.
I have a lot of respect for them.
Well, I appreciate that as a fan. I look at it this way. The stadium, the Trop is obviously not the best. It did get a facelift recently and about 4 years ago. It's always 73 degrees, like you said. You never have to worry about a rain out. You're always going to see a ball game unless the fucking lights go out or something. You're going to see a game. But if they go to Montreal, man, I'm out. And here's where it gets interesting because a few years back, 10 years ago now, 2011 to be exact, something really interesting happened. And I remember seeing this story about a dude that put his fanhood up for sale. You remember this story? He was a Bengals fan. Bengals fan by the name of, oddly enough, Brett Kostoff. And here's what Brett did. Listen to this. Mr. Kostoff said he was a Bengals fan for 20 years. And he's like, man, I'm so sick of this shit. He was very public about it, obviously. And he said, I'm going to put up my fanhood for sale on eBay to the highest bidder. And whoever bids the highest, I'm going to take all that money. I'm going to become a fan of your team. and I'm going to spend all of that money on merchandise for that team. Guess how much and who bought him and for how much?
New England Patriots.
It's a good guess. There's money there. I think Elle and I already talked about this.
We did, so I'll sit that one out.
Okay. The Steelers. The Steelers bought him.
Oh, fuck, a division rival.
Yeah. Division rival.
Yeah.
Guess how much this dude's fanhood was worth as a Bengal fan to the Steelers?
$400.
$100 more. $510.
The Bengals fan.
Dedication in your life and to your fanhood and to your team and all that and to your city was worth $510. I don't even know the math over 20 years.
I get it about the team moving, so to speak. Now, for pretty much my entire life, my New York Giants have played just outside of the state of New York in New Jersey.
Right.
It's kind of like a dual ownership. I don't think we'll ever have to worry about the team getting rebranded, renamed. But similar to Dallas, like with the rivalry, why they're in the East, similar to that theory and understanding is why we'll never be rebranded as the New Jersey Giants. Now, a lot of people –
East Rutherford Giants?
That's
what our local paper calls them.
People in New York have really taken New York have taken exception to this and be like, this is going back. Like, I don't want to be a part of that, this and that. I'll be honest. If we got rebranded to the New Jersey Giants, I don't think it would affect me as deeply as the way it would affect you. And I think part of that is because I've embraced the state of New Jersey as a home away from home, but it's so damn close. Because if you're back in New York City. And I think that particular franchise, even more so than the Jets, I just think both states have embraced it as that's our baby. Split time, split championships. We have 4 in Yankee Stadium, pre-merger, 4 split in MetLife and Giant Stadium. So it's not quite the same drastic shit, plus you keep the name. As I remember,
this would be more like if they were the St. Pete Rays.
Christy Whitman was fighting hard to get that name changed, but the only thing she won was the Statue of Liberty. Lady Liberty's ass faces Jersey. That's another conversation for another day, but I get it. If we were rebranded to New Jersey, I wouldn't be happy, but I'll deal with it.
What if you're an ass man from Jersey? Then you feel like you won still. I don't know. But Elle made a good point. Yeah, but Elle made a good point though. Like it'd be more like if we went to if it were rebranded to the St. Pete Rays or something like that. But you're going to Montreal, man, for half my home games, and it's not official yet. But I'm just saying.
I hope not, buddy. Yeah, that would hurt me, and they're not even my team, and that would hurt me.
If you're doing that,
sell your fanhood, guys. Sell it. You could probably do better than $25 a year.
It might, for you. It might be. I might get more than Mr. Brett Kostoff, but also funny enough, another guy did it in 2018. 32-year-old Evan Perlmutter.
Wow.
Funny ass.
This is great. This is great content. Like I'd never heard of this shit before.
Check this shit out.
What we do with our spare time.
I know I'm a fucking nerd. I get it, but he's a Knicks fan, and he put his allegiance up for sale. Check this out. Guess who? What fan base bought him out?
Chicago Bulls.
Who?
Chicago Bulls?
No. I like that guess. That's a fun
They
guess.
don't gotta buy y'all. They just beat you. 20 years ago. You're good, Rich.
Still strong.
Who's your guess? Who bought him out? Team with a lot of money. Very popular team.
Lakers.
There you go. Lakers bought him out.
They seem like they would buy fans, don't they?
No, it's not even the team's money. It was actually a YouTube star by the name of James Rydell that bought him out for his YouTube channel for $3,450. This 23-year-old kid bought this guy's fanhood.
I wonder if that's the same Rydell that used to be the manufacturer for NFL helmets. Maybe an affluent family. Just curious when I heard the name.
Maybe. Either way, I might have to put my shit up for sale if they move to Montreal and sell it. Put it under the. No, I think I would honestly have to be, just because of my ties to working for the Dodgers years and years ago in 2005 for that organization.
Oh, no.
Do it, man.
God.
It's my only tie. Who else?
Ask for the money first, dude. I'm just saying.
Don't do it.
You're right. You're right. Might as well ask for it. But then if I sell it, there's going to be some kind of legality tied to it where I have to actually kind of commit to that, right? I don't know. So the guy, the issue that Perlmutter should have taken the fucking money and changed his last name is what he should have done. His agreement was to go to one home game and one away game and then bet $500 that the Lakers would cover the over under. He took the over on their win losses for the season. So I thought it was a pretty fair use of his money and his allegiance to his.
This is funny, dude, because I had a conversation with our friend of the show, Zay. Zay, as you boys know, is a Laker fan. And I told him, I said, growing up, when I first started caring about basketball, I was very young. I loved Magic Johnson. And, but the Knicks were my team. But I loved Magic Johnson.
Right.
So, he was on the receiving end of losing to Chicago or even the bad boy Pistons. I was pulling for the Lakers. I told Zay, I said, dude, I should have stuck with the Lakers. I would have saved myself so much pain. I would have got to see Kobe and Shaq, even what they got now with LeBron, my love for the 90s Knicks and just being loyal. So maybe one day I'll get rewarded. But I don't know, man. I got to see what my fanhood is worth now.
I feel like it'd be more of
his fanhood. That's got to be expensive.
It's got to be expensive. Like if you're talking about Jaguars fanhood, I don't even think I'd get $510 for that. So I don't even know where that lies or how much that would even. But anyway, and you know what? Speaking of which, if you guys listen to the most recent Fan Focus show, thank you. And if you haven't, please go check it out. It's with a good friend of the show, Brett Bandick. In that, I'll give you a quick. I won't no spoilers, but I'll give you a little tidbit from the show. He talks about. Richie proposes a question to him of how he became a New England Patriots fan when he started out as a Buffalo Bills fan. Great story behind it. Please check it out, guys. But on that note, what's going on with Brady and Belichick, gentlemen? Are you excited for this game on Sunday?
It's huge.
I think it's a Sunday night game, right? Like 8:20. It's the primetime.
I think so.
They're going time on this one.
Yeah. It's probably the biggest matchup of the week, although there are some other games.
Before that game starts.
What's that?
We're going to be 1-3 before that game starts. We're going to beat Jameis, but who cares?
Yeah.
Nobody.
You have no Slayton. You have no Shepard. You have a hobbling Barkley. God, dude. I don't know.
It's going to be all right. Forget those.
Save it for the disgruntled post-game rant you got there, Rich. We know it's coming. Guys, have a programming note. Tune in.
Yeah.
You're the 1 o'clock game, Rich?
Yeah, get it done early.
All right. So around 4 o'clock or so, guys, expect a disgruntled Richie Instagram live post about the tragedy that is the New York Giants.
Should be waking up.
You know it's coming.
By the time he gets to Gillette Stadium, right around the time when they go live, I'll be waking up out of my drunken stupor.
Yeah, with an East Rutherford Giants shirt on.
What is that worth? I want to get paid now. What is that worth?
This is a fun conversation, though.
Go, Pack, go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just kidding.
It's a slippery slope, but let's get back to it real quick, full circle. Who needs this win more? That's the biggest question everybody's been asking. I think, obviously, Belichick needs it more for his ego and for his future, but, I mean, Brady's the man. He's the GOAT. He doesn't need this shit. He doesn't care, but I guarantee he wants to drop 5 or 6 fucking TDs on him. Elle, what do you think? Who needs this more and why?
It's a great battle, right? You got this interesting situation, and the stories that have drawn me in about this matchup are the difference in philosophy, right? Brady has always been viewed as a consummate professional, like he's considered the best, and not because he's the best athlete to ever play quarterback, but his focus on the game, taking care of his health, all that stuff. So it was interesting to me, and you guys may have seen this, the book that came out about the Patriots like this week and the breakup, essentially. It was about the dynasty, but everyone focused on this breakup and how Belichick didn't want to see Brady.
He wouldn't even entertain the conversation, I heard. Is that true?
Right.
That's fucked up.
To my knowledge, it was basically he was too busy, right? And so there's this whole philosophical difference of Belichick's known as like a hard ass. There's the Patriot way and all this old school football shit. And what we're seeing now is Brady letting his personality shine. He's trying to be a little bit more fun loving. And that's his brand now. And the cool thing is that it worked and they won a Super Bowl with that. They're doing the whole super team, super friends, Justice League thing, whatever the fuck we want to call it. And it's showing results. So to answer your question, I do think Belichick needs this more than Brady. Brady won the Super Bowl last year. Belichick's team didn't make the playoffs. So Belichick, for his ego, for his team's future, they need this. It's a big game for them.
Yeah, it's huge. Speaking on that too, I like the matchup, but I heard a story as well. I can't remember the receiver who it was, but Brady letting his personality shine, I think it's great for football. I think it's great for these young kids. I like the old school way a little bit, but I like the idea of having more fun with it. But I saw I can't remember the receiver. I wish I knew. I wish I looked this up. But there was a receiver wide open, and he's waving his hands in the air, and Brady sees him, checks down, whatever, throws an incomplete pass to like Mike Evans or Gronk or someone else. And guy comes up in the huddle, and it's like mic'd up, or they got the sound guys on the sideline that picked it up. And the guy's like, "Hey, man, I'm wide open, Tom. I'm wide open." And he goes, "If you ever fucking wave your hands again, I'll never throw the fucking ball to you again the rest of the career." I was like, damn, dog. Look that shit up. It's on YouTube. That's the Brady. That's the intensity that still exists. It's still there.
Right.
Like, you can still have fun with it, too.
Very fun-loving. And I think, like, when guys get in the hall, and obviously that's where he's going to end up, I think one of the biggest things, in addition to the legacy and, the guys years later that are going to debate about how great you were, it's about preserving the game and making sure that you protect the game that was so good to you. I think Tom Brady's done a hell of a job of understanding that. And while he's still an ultimate competitor that wants to cut your heart out, I do think that he's taken the fun-loving approach. Getting into, like, the game itself, and more so than just a 3-hour game, like post-breakup, whatever you want to call it, like anything else in this world, in this country, the media is always going to fucking take you left and right and confuse you, or try to anyway. This is my take on it. Tom Brady was passed over 6 times in his draft class. He was sitting behind an accomplished superstar quarterback at the time in the form of Drew Bledsoe. He got the opportunity. He ran with it. What is Belichick best known for from his coaching, starting all the way back with the G-Men? It's defense. And I do feel that while he cultivated the greatest quarterback in NFL history, the greatest winner in NFL history, I do think that sometimes people get lost in this and forget that the first half of that Patriot dynasty was on the backs of that great defense. And we all saw that the Bucs did it this year, which would lead people to understand that 4 times out of 7, it was Brady's defense that got him there. Now, this is a team sport, the ultimate team sport. And by no means am I trying to take anything away from Tom Brady, but I do feel that given that the Patriot system and the Patriot way, so to speak, has worked, I do think that they blow some of this shit out of proportion. I know a lot of quarterbacks that I feel could have won with all the assets that Brady walked into. And to be fair,
at that level, though, I doubt it. Not that many times, probably not.
No, but I mean, it was, prior to this past year, it was all done with the Belichick watch. My thing that I'm getting at is that I go back to 2019, and without the weapons, because AB and Josh Gordon both got suspended, Edelman got hurt, Brady looked incredibly pedestrian. And while I still think that his presence alone was massive for the Buccaneers, teaching these young guys how to be professionals, having the ear of the owner and the GM to get what he wanted. It's genius and it's awesome. And it kind of opened the door. That's the previous episode. Aaron Rodgers wanted this, that, and everything. But I still feel that Belichick was the mastermind and the dude that got it done. But 9 out of 10 times, perception and how you look at it, you're going to choose the player, because players don't get older like the way coaches get older. Some people might think that Belichick's way might be outdated. Time will reveal.
that's something I want to mention here, Rich, because we talked about this with Dan Quinn and the success of the Cowboys defense this year, right? It's about recognizing the game has evolved. A dominant defense week in and week out doesn't happen. So you have to gamble. You have to cause turnovers. And Belichick's defensive approach has to evolve. The game has evolved in a way that favors Brady. Brady's success in this era is not shocking because it's a game that favors the QB position, not defense.
On that.
Well, we also have Bruce Arians at the helm in Tampa, so he's just all about airing it out.
Oh, he's always been an offensive-minded dude.
Yeah, let's just air it out. And Brady wants to shine, so Bruce is going to let him. And that'll be an interesting, clash when they face that very defensive-minded Belichick with a very offensive-minded Bruce Arians and Brady, who wants to fucking shit on him.
And Brett mentioned this earlier. Stephon Gilmore is like a 50-50 to play. That's going to be massive.
That is a big deal.
Giving the Patriots a chance. But I do think it's going to be a close game, just given the fact that the Patriots are not going to want to bend down and just get rolled on. I think they're going to give a really spirited effort.
So
Gronk is questionable.
Play this.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, let's play this out hypothetically, though. If we think about this result, how much of an accomplishment would this be for Belichick to win this game or have his Patriots win this game, right? Because you got to say the Bucs should be favored.
Absolutely.
Super Bowl champions, the Patriots are. So how much value do we put on this? Do we say, all right, well, that evens the score? I don't know if a week 4 game really compares to a Super Bowl season, but obviously you got different situations here. Belichick's in a rebuild. Brady walked into a ready-made team. How much weight do we put on this game, really?
I don't know how much weight we're putting on it.
Brady's still chasing them. Belichick.
I think what's going to happen here is we're going to be focused on New England's defense and if they're even capable of shutting down or just slowing down Brady. I don't think you're going to be able to shut down Brady. I think the over-under on passing TDs is 2.5. So basically he needs to throw 3, and Vegas thinks he might do it. He might not. I don't know. But what was I going to say? Everybody's focused on their defense and then this new budget Brady, as Mike Greenberg called him, Mac Jones. So they're going to – it depends on – I don't think the week 4 match – I thought it was pretty funny too. I was like, damn, that's good.
I hadn't heard that. That's pretty damn good.
Because the mindset is what, like you guys brought up, Belichick wants to basically go back in time and replicate what he had with Brady with Mac Jones. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. You're not with that dude. Nobody's Brady. But, like –
I gotta ask, if you don't mind, and Rich, you can weigh in on this too. We've seen Mac Jones apparently budget Brady. We've seen him play the definition of a game manager, right? Do we think that's just them protecting him, or do you think they're going to open it up this week? Because given what the Cowboys were able to do through the air in week 1, exposing some of the flaws in the DBs for Tampa, do you think they're going to try and attack them downfield, or are they going to stay within themselves and continue what we've seen through the first 3 weeks?
I think they're going to take their chances downfield. I think you're going to see Nelson Aguilar get some looks, Jacoby Myers downfield, maybe even Jonnu Smith. I said this to Brett. How do you beat an aggressive front 7 or give yourself a chance to beat them? I like what Dallas did week 1. You got to have the weapons to do it, though. Not everybody could do it. You got to play the sideline game. You got to get the quick reads, get that ball out quickly. Use the aggressiveness and use the aggressiveness against them. In that regard, I think the pass opens up the run, not the run opening up the pass. Because in today's game,
they're not putting a
pass-centric league, that happens more times than not. But I do think New England has the personnel to potentially do that and make this game a lot closer than people think. But unfortunately for New England, Tampa's coming off a loss. Tampa was riding high, undefeated. I actually think New England might have had a better chance.
So I'm going to say this real quick. If they can get it going, watch out for Fournette, as long as he doesn't get injured. I think all eyes are going to be off of him. And he's also can be potentially a decent receiving back. So just watch out, man. Fournette might have a big game. I think he's focused on – go ahead.
I got Fournette for about 75, 80 yards and a touch, and I got Gronk hitting the end zone twice.
I'm playing.
The defensive mindset is going to be to shut down Brady. They're going to forget about that receiving back that Fournette can potentially be. So I think he might have a decent game. But once again, I'm 0 for 4 with my predictions, streamers, and my fucking locks of the week. So anything I have to say, don't listen to me. And some of them were injuries, but Fournette's probably going to hurt himself this week or put up a straight.
Well, Ojo's buried on the bench in the doghouse, and Bernard's dinged up. So you might see the.
I don't think Bernard's playing. I don't even think he's active. I think isn't he out?
I'm not 100% sure, but I heard he's pretty dinged up. I'm going to go Tampa 30, New England 24. I think New England's going to play better than people think, but I think Tampa takes over when it matters most, and they're going to win the game in the fourth quarter.
I'll go.
And I'm rooting for the Patriots this week for whatever that's worth.
What's the over under? Do we know? Let's see. Bernard is out, by the way.
Belichick's a big contributor to my team's first 2 Super Bowls. I don't have any allegiance to Tom Brady. I'm a Notre Dame fan too. Tom's from Michigan. I'm rooting for the Pats this week.
Fuck that. I'm gonna pull for Brady. I want to see him shit all over Belichick. But let me see real quick. I'm pulling up the line real quick. Bear with me. Here we go. 50.5 is MGM in Vegas.
That's going to be above that. I got them going. 50.
Yeah, I got the over.
I got the over. I got Tom throwing 2 touchdowns. Both to Gronk, and Suckup will kick a couple of field goals.
I got Brady throwing 4 TDs. That sounds crazy, but I think he's going to throw 1 to Gronk, 1 to Fournette, and AB's back, so probably a couple to AB because people are going to be sleeping on him as well. But if he can stay healthy the whole game,
yeah, he's coming. If he won,
I bet the over of 2.5 TDs that Brady's going to pass. I would take 4. I would also bet the over on 50.5. I'm going to say it's going to be 35. I like the 24 as well. So probably 35-24 Tampa over New England.
I don't think Brady totally blows up the stat sheet because we got to take into consideration Tampa's got a defense. And, the Patriots are still struggling on offense trying to find their way. It's going to be fun. And I told Brett
it's going to be a high-scoring game, I think.
I feel that for Brett, as a fan of them, it's a growing and learning experience. And if the kid Jones could go shot for shot with him, it's not all for naught, and it's a good growing moment.
Yeah.
I'm taking the under, guys. I've seen nothing from the Patriots offense to think that they're capable of running with the Bucs. I think the Bucs are going to jump out to a lead and sit on the ball. 31-17.
All right. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm going low, man.
Okay. That's fun. I think we'll have to look back at this.
I hope I'm wrong. Because I think it would be more exciting, obviously, to see a shootout between those guys. But
I've got a prediction that doesn't have to do with the game.
Okay.
I think our interview subject, Brett Bandick, at the conclusion of this game, I mean, you're talking first wood since the pandemic. I can see him following Tom into Tampa and just having that moment. Because, he
finally professes his love to him, or what are we talking?
I've always questioned that, but at minimum, being a fan,
This coming from Topaz. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I want you to understand that after the Yankees' triumphant 9/11 win, 20th anniversary, after spanking the Mets in Queens, that name was given to me from our resident fan and always a member of any guest appearance, Richard Dorney, when he was blacked out. I mean, he was
creative and hilarious, and now it's going to stick.
I love it. And I'm all for having a good time.
You don't get to choose, man.
Okay,
so here's a real question. Here's a real question that we really need to focus on.
He ain't calling me bandwagon. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a real question. I want a serious answer from both of you guys. What's the over-under on how many beers Brett has after they lose?
Is he working?
Brett's going to put on America's game and watch all 6 of those Super Bowls in New England.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
rolled up in the corner.
Well, Rich, you said you had a really good trivia question you wanted to propose to us. So let's hear it, man. What you got?
Yeah, keep it on Tom Terrific for a minute. In 2000, and NFL Network did a show on this. They called it the Brady Six. Who were the 6 quarterbacks drafted in that famous 2000 draft before Tom Brady? I'm not going to put a time limit on you guys. I'm just going to wait for you to get frustrated. But I have confidence that between the two of you intellects, you're going to at least get 3 of them. Let's see.
Bro, I was like 10, man. Come on.
Yeah, but they got you.
Yeah, 2000. I think I just started driving a car.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see. God, dude.
All right. Class of 2000 quarterbacks. Fuck me.
We have to dig deep here. Let's see. God, dude, you ask trivia questions that are more applicable to your
I'll
age,
give
right?
you one hint. One of these 6 men defeated Peyton Manning in the playoffs. And it's not Tom Brady. Another
2000. So that can't be.
I don't know. I was busy accruing CTE at that time. I got nothing, dude.
Okay.
Barb entered the league a lot sooner than that. What?
Rush here. We had a pretty brisk show, good time. I give it about another 25 seconds, see if something sparks. This is great seeing both you guys confused like this.
My brain keeps thinking Brady Quinn, but I think that's just my Brady brain because he was later on.
Yes, he was.
Notre Dame. All right, I was making that connection.
Oh, man.
Chad
Pennington. Fucking A, dude.
And that happens to be the guy that beat Peyton. Giovanni Carmazzi, Hofstra in the house.
Wow.
Chris
You
Redman.
made that shit up.
Chris what?
Mark Bolger, Spurgeon Wynn. Now, I have an interesting stat with regard to these 6 players. 44,470 passing yards, 246 TDs. Tom Brady alone, 79,204 on the yardage, 581 TDs. Out of these 6 guys, I say 2 of them had respectable careers. Chad Pennington got the Jets close a couple of years, had a decent career replacing Vinny Testaverde. And Mark Bolger replaced Hall of Famer Kurt Warner with the St. Louis Rams that had a decent run. But those other 4 guys were complete friggin' chodes.
Yeah, legitimately don't even recognize their names, bro.
Yeah.
The Bolger and Pennington, I know.
Living in Long Island, I knew who Giovanni Carmazzi was because Hofstra was so close to where I went to school. Our high school played frequently in Hofstra during the Long Island playoffs, Lawrence High School, and pretty much anybody in Nassau County, any high schools in Nassau played in Hofstra. But, yeah, dude, that is that on the Brady Six.
I'm like, every dude I'm thinking, I was like, they came in the league way sooner than 2000. So that was even in that. Because you think of Brady, he's been in the league for, forever. 21 seasons now?
This will be his 21st, yeah.
21st, yeah. So, I mean, it's like.
His career can drink legally. Come on now.
Exactly.
3 passes in the year 2000 in mop-up duty. I think he threw 3 or 4 passes. Completed one of them, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, man, Mo Lewis. Remember that name, New York Jets. He was the reason why the Patriot dynasty essentially had a chance to get started. Damn near killing Drew Bledsoe. And you go in different eras of football, things like this, of the most unique moments have changed history. Leonard Martin injuring Joe Montana. A lot of people would say that expedited the Cowboy dynasty because they weren't the same 49ers with Steve Young as they were with Joe Montana. They weren't.
The butterfly effect, right?
Dude, it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing.
Well, I think you can add 4 more TD passes to Brady's resume after this Sunday night. And I think you can add 3 more wins to the Rays win column after these few games with their Yankees. I think, honestly, this is a great show, guys. We had a lot of good topics here, but Rich, I think it's going to be a lot of drinking for you over the next 3 days. The Rays are going to mop you guys up, man. Actually, we're going to sweep you up. We're going to just get out the brooms and we're going to do it again.
This is what I think. The Yankees essentially need to win one more game to safely protect that number 1 standing.
Yep.
And if we win today, which I do think we will, I expect both of us to not go too hard. And if you get that one pitcher that's not necessarily in the postseason plans for either one of our squads, they might take it on the chin. I expect a hell of a game tonight. Yankees are going to sneak one out tonight. And the other 2 games are going to be home run derbies back and forth.
Yeah.
With little emphasis on the worry because Tampa knows that they already won the division. And at that point, the Yankees will know that they're hosting a 1-game playoff in the Bronx. Tomorrow when the Yankees wake up, they would have clinched that number 1 wild card. That is my prediction.
We're going to be free swinging, both of us. Even more so my Rays. We don't care.
What's that? Fun to watch.
Yeah. We're going to be free swinging because we don't care. So I think the Yankees are going to go in there with their buttholes puckered, and you got to win, man. You need the win. We don't need it.
Yankees are locked in right now. After the 13-game win streak, a very shitty run, losing to piss-poor teams.
You're playing very well.
Sweep the Red Sox in Fenway, 2 out of 3 against a very upstart Jays team, and now they're looking toe-to-toe with a team that's going to stand in their way from winning the 28th World Championship. The biggest advantage the Yankees have going into these playoffs is their bullpen is rested. It's deeper. They got Severino healthy, who's pitching very well, by the way. They got Domingo Germán pitching well. Chapman refound himself. Chad Green's back. Loaisa's back. Yankees are in a great position because you need a bullpen that deep when the only guy that you have that can eat those innings is Garrett Cole. And that's going to come big in the playoffs. Don't want to get ahead of myself, though, so I'm going to say at night's end, the Yankees are pretty much going to be looking at knowing that they have home field advantage for a 1-game playoff. Nobody's talking about the Mariners. Boston's sliding. We just won a series against Toronto. The Mariners are only 1 game out from that wild card, too.
Yeah, Haniger's carrying that team, man. Haniger is carrying that team lately, so don't sleep on him.
And I'll be honest, no disrespect to Seattle, but I would prefer to play them versus the Red Sox or a different team.
Oh, yeah, I would too. Yeah, they don't even think they should be there. They're getting excited with this run they're making, but it's a very under-the-radar team. So I would like to face them as well if that were the case.
My mother's a Yankee fan, of course, and she even mentioned that she was a little concerned about us having home field because she feels the Red Sox have a better chance of beating us in the Bronx as opposed to Fenway. I kind of agree with Mom Dukes.
Why?
Because with the short porches, the Red Sox could get a couple of cheap homers, whereas in a bigger ballpark like Fenway, I actually think it favors our lineup and it favors our pitchers. We have a lot of fly ball pitchers in our lineup. And I do believe that in a game, like it's going to be Garrett Cole, for instance, that can be scary because Yankee Stadium, particularly right and left field corners, the ball carries. So that can be very scary.
You still just have no left-handed hitters in that lineup, though. So hitting up against the Green Monster. I don't know.
Odor stepped up when called on. Rizzo, I trust Rizzo. I had a bad dream. This is a true story. I had a weird dream that I woke up and Rizzo was playing with the fucking Cardinals. I don't know if I'm foreshadowing free agency or some shit. Cardinals are extremely hot, by the way. But that was crazy.
That's Dorney.
I thought it was real. I woke up. I was pissed off. I was like, wait a minute. We didn't give this guy 4 years? What happened? I'm going to say it quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Giants, Dodgers. The Giants are going to win that division. And I'm going to call it early. Upset of the year. The St. Louis Cardinals are going to upset the Los Angeles Dodgers in a 1-game playoff.
That'd be so much fun, too, man.
I did pick the Cardinals to go to the postseason.
So did I.
Preview. I did not pick the Milwaukee Brewers, though.
we both did, and they looked like shit the entire time, and then now they're making a push, and we're looking like we know what we're talking about. So
none of us picked the Giants, so let's see what happens.
Giants, Rays finally win this year, I think. So we're gonna see how this unfolds. It'll be fun to see how
Longoria.
What's that? Yeah, Longo potentially, facing his old team.
I got a real retro World Series that I believe is going to come to fruition. I've got the San Francisco Giants and my New York Yankees. Old school New York rivalry where it was born. And
I'd pull for the Yanks so hard in that one, man.
Well, for me, it's a win either way. I mean, my grandfather had minor league ties with the formerly New York, now San Francisco Giants. A lot of history there. I'm a Yankee fan, so I'm not picking against them. I got the Yankees winning the World Series in 6, but we got a ways to go. Let's see what happens this weekend, but it's very exciting. Very exciting. I don't think anybody had the Rays having the year they had. You win 2 of 3 against us, it's a win season.
I had no faith in my Rays at the beginning of the season. I said we finished 3rd.
What did I tell you about them? I said they were going to make the postseason. I did.
I was all high on Toronto like a dumbass, but that's why baseball's fun, man.
Chance, but they still do. But
they need a lot more help, dude. And the way they kind of fizzle out in the late innings of games is not due to their bullpen either. They just don't pick it up again. So I don't really have the faith in them that I have.
That was my fear in the beginning with them. I didn't think they had the pitching, but we were both wrong about the Mets. I do recall that I think we all had them doing something.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Cardinals are very hot. They have the second most championships behind my New York Yankees. I think that's where the magic ends. I think they have one great game against the Dodgers. Then they come to life and lose in the next round to a team that is better than them, which in that case would be the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
But lots to look forward to. Checking out this pick I got with Don Zimmer, and then I got Longo and Jeter holding up the Zimmer 66, retired by your Tampa Bay Rays. Awesome stuff. One of the great baseball guys, and I'm feeling it, bro. I put that picture up. I wanted the Rays to have some ambiance in this podcast room, newer franchise, but a team that I have a lot of respect for. So looking forward to getting this going.
Your next picture should be of Pedro Martinez with – no? Okay.
He looks too much like my grandpa. I was a little pissed off when Pedro pulled that shit. But then, you're swinging, it is what it is. It was like that AARP guy. That's
what I'm saying. You're charging me. I mean, you're going to get, Pedro did what he had to do. Any last words, El? What are you thinking about? Nothing? We're wrapping it up?
Yeah, man. I didn't know we were circling back to baseball. I kind of zoned out there, but that's gravy, man. I hope the listeners are enjoying the baseball talk. You guys know I struggle with it, but I enjoyed our conversations today, gentlemen.
Definitely. Topaz, any last words?
Fuck you, Dorney. Fuck you, AJ Hinch.
Oh, man.
Yes. Always fuck you, AJ Hinch.
Just looking forward to the playoffs, dude, because I'm certainly not looking forward to week 4 of watching my Giants. We do get 2 top 10 picks if the Bears suck, because we are certainly holding up our end of the bargain. We'll see what happens. It's still early. But, New York is saving – the New York Yankees are saving New York sports right now. Because past them, we got NBA coming up. Maybe the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. Obviously Brooklyn's good. Hard for me to identify them as a New York team. That's another conversation for another day. NBA, we'll be getting on that shortly. Season's around the corner.
October 19th is the start date. We'll get to that next show, guys. Stay tuned. Once again, check out the Fan Focus show with Brett Bandick that Richie did. El, thanks for the post-production on that. Great job. Guys, thanks for tuning in again. Been another episode of the Jordan Patrick Show. Thanks for following, subscribing, liking, all that shit, commenting. We appreciate all the interactions that you guys provide for us.
Last thing, quick invite. I want both of you in my living room, not this Sunday, next Sunday. We got Giants, Cowboys. That's always quite the event when me and Elliot revisit that rivalry. I'd love to have you here with us, Jordan. So let me know if it works out for you. We'll have you over for a few hours on Sunday, 2 Sundays from now.
Try to make that happen. All right, gentlemen. Good show. We'll catch up with you later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.